I can see a custom BAPI creation rules and standards which we supposed to follow. So BAPI, we know that BAPI is remote function models, but whenever we create in the BAPI, we need to follow some rules. Okay, this is very important. Otherwise, we can't convert this function model, because initially we create the function model only, right? That we can't convert it to business object repository. We can't convert it to BAPI within the business object repository. It will identify that we are not following the rules and standards. Okay, so every BAPI must start with BAPI or ZBAPI. So BAPI means it's a standard BAPIs. ZBAPI means we need to follow this is comes under custom BAPIs. Okay, so whatever we are going to create now, that should be started with ZBAPI. All importing exporting parameters must be type of structures, not direct entries. Structures means, if you see here in this BAPI, to go importing parameter, we are not using any data element here. This is a structure with fields, This is also structure. If you go inside, see structure. Everything it should be in the form of structure. So material, but this is a structure. We should have the structure in all the importing. This is also structure. A mat all, this is also structure. Same we are using these three places. If we go exporting, this is also structure. BAPI return structure. BAPI mat document structure. So we should follow this naming rule. Okay. And all importing exporting parameter names also must start with BAPI and ZBAPI. Because if you see everywhere, BAPI is there. When we create our custom structures, we have to create with ZBAPI. So all importing exporting parameters must be pass-by value, as pass-by reference is not supported for remote communication. What is pass-by value? If you see here, are you able to see here pass-by value is selected for all importing exporting parameters. So pass-by value, pass-by reference, we are using for the communication purpose. Pass-by reference means it's based on the memory. Pass-by value means it's based on the direct value. When you are calling external system, we are calling the HTTP communication. Online, we are converting data through internet. We are not communicating through programming memory, right? We are not using SC38 report that to transfer data. We are communicating data through internet, one system to another system. So when you use the reference means memory, there could be a chance memory might reduce or increase, or there might be issue with the corrupted. So data will be corrupted. Data will not transfer as it is. If we use pass-by value, we are pushing value as it is. So value will not be corrupted. We can encrypt and decrypt the value, but value will not be corrupted because we are not referring any memory, but just telling the value as it is. So pass-by reference is not preferred, not suggested here. We should select this pass-by value. And then BAPI must have the written parameter. To return messages like success warnings, error message, we should use written and parameter. Either we can use BAPI read to or we can use BAPI written. This is for these two structures are there, BAPI read to and BAPI written. BAPI written, most of the developers are using in exporting tabs. BAPI read to it is using in the tables tab. Because you can also use the BAPI written in tables also, but two versions are there. BAPI read to is the latest version. So both are handling the erroring messages. So main thing is written parameter should be there, either exporting or tables. This is the written. This should not change. This name should not change. These names and all are your wish. We can write anything, but this should not change. We should write written only. If it is work here, also you should not use ls. Should mention written only. Even in tables also should mention in written only. Okay. So what we have to follow these steps to create a custom BAPI. We have to create the structure in S11 for all importing exporting parameters. Then we have to create function model. Then we have to put that function model in business object using SWO1 transaction. And finally, it will be converted as a BAPI. So now I'll create the BAPI for sales order. Sales order, read the information. You can see here in this document, material information is explained. Okay. Anyway, I'll be show different scenario, which is sales orders. That is not the requirement. I'm just some existing tables and how to read the data from those tables through this custom BAPI. That is a requirement considered. We are going to discuss. So you need to understand the steps how to create. Okay. First one, what we need to create? We need to create the structures. So let's create two sessions now. So two sessions I just open. First left side I open. Sales orders means I am going to read the data based on single sales order. I'm going to read master data and then item data also. Okay. Or we can take based on the vendor. I want to read purchase orders. Then purchase order item data also I want to read. If that kind of logic is there, we have to implement logic for all the select queries. Or if it is sales order means if we give the sales order as the input, we need to read the sales order information, sales order item also. Okay. So we have two tables are involved. So I wanted to create two structures. So VBAK is one table, display. From this table, I am going to select only limited fields. Okay, if you want the whole tables also we can put, but all the fields, these all 772 fields part of the structure. I'm just creating with the limited fields. And go to the data type, we can create the structures. Okay, Z BAPI should be mandatory. Okay, BAPI sales header. Okay. Create structures we are creating. Sales header content, whatever we want, you can select here. VBLN we want. Use the data element for VBLN. Yeah, DAT, yeah, NEM. UDAT select. So all this now I'm just referring direct tables, but in real time we'll get all these fields and data elements from the at least fields will get from the functionals and data elements you have to identify from the different tables. So majority of functional documents will get even fields and from which table you have to refer. If there is a table, automatically you can identify the data element. Okay. Select net price. Okay. Net price data element for AUDAT only. We have here sales organization, distribution channel, division, sales office, sales group, business area. Once you click on enter, it will show some warning message. Field name does not agree with proposed document. No problem. You can click on continue for every field and it will be generated. You can see all this data is populating from this data element. Even while creating table, we need to create data element and domain. Then when we come back, that time this data types and all everything updated. But these are all standard data elements which is already there in database. You can directly call. I want to read these 12 fields from the sales header table. You can just click on save in the package and then transport. So here we have to do this enhancement category similar to table. We have to select can be enhanced, deep, copy, save, check. So here net price is there. So net prices comes under currency and quantity fields. We have to give the reference fields and reference table. Okay, we can take any of the field from this table only we can provide. Yeah, we can use this reference. Because this is a very sensitive data, as I mentioned at the time of table creation, we have to follow this option. If there is a currency and quantity fields, we have to give the reference table and reference field. Then activate this structure. Okay, this structure is done now. Now, what is the next thing we need to do? We need to create structure for item table. Sales item table structure. This sales. Here, just go back and I'm just open sales table, sales item table, which is BAPI. Here also will use some fields. So here we have to fill in the components. So VBLN and the 3 fields we need. VBLN underscore VA, VOSNR underscore VA. And then we want material group. Then description, material description, ARKDX. MENS unit of measure. Here also we have prices. You can see here they're calling as the underscore APD. It's a different element. GSBC also, if you want, you can use business area now. Okay. I wanted only this limited fields. You just click on enter the keyboard to update remaining fields. All the fields are updated. Save the package. Again, we have here currency and quantity for this. Switch to this one. Just to give the reference. BBA key. BBAP hyphen WERK. Save. Put extras enhancement category. Select this and can be enhanced deep. Copy the settings. Check. Activate. Okay. This is also active now. So now both the structures are created successfully, right? Now what is the next step? We need to create function model. What is the transaction code for function model? LC37. Okay, just that also should be start with that BAPI. Sales get details. Click on create. We need the function group. Even for BAPIs also we need function group similar to our function models. While creating the function model, we need the function group because function models will not directly save in the package. So we can check any function group created for us. Last time. Set 21. We were created this one. Okay, it is for a student and employee. You can take anyone, okay, or you can create new function group as well. Application for sales, click on save. Function model is reserved for SAP. This is a common message will be populated at the time of function model creation. So now this is a function model we created. Now we need to fill the importing exporting parameter. So in importing parameter, I wanted to add sales order, sales document, sales doc, and write sales document, right? So associate type we should write always with structure with field reference. Okay. What is this first structure? Header hyphen VBLN. This is the reference we have to write. We open this structure, you can see VBLN is there. We are referring that. VBLN and exporting. I'm just reading sales header. This is a sales header structure. So I am writing in exporting only. Can you tell me the answer? Why I am writing sales header in exporting only? It's in master table and it will be always having single entry in the master table, sales header table for the single sales order. Single entry means only single work area, only we can push into exporting. We don't need changing our tables now. For items, but I should write under the tables only, because for single sales order, there might be single item or it might be multiple items, right? So we have to write under the tables tab. Okay. And we have to select this pass by reference for all these fields. Okay, here we have only one input. That should not be optional if you have one input. If you have multiple inputs, you can make it as optional few fields. Okay, just save, check.
Kishore, this parameter name,
Yeah,
is this standard or just
you can write anything. We don't have any standard. Only for written, it should be standard.
okay.
Remaining, it's a business requirement. We can put anything. Here I have two. I'm reading data from two tables, right? And two tables means it's a two situations where I can get either success and failure. So two situations means two kind of messages I'll be reading. Two messages means it's a two entries as per BAPI. Two entries means again it is comes in a tables. Now I have to create the return in tables. BAPI, right? The return parameter is updated. Save and check. So this is the importing exporting parameter things. But now we need to write the report logic to read this data from database in the BAPI level. So I just activate this function model. Now we'll go to the source code. Here we have to write logic based on this importing, exporting tables thing. Okay. So first select query, I'm writing select. Open the structure here on the better. We are reading only specific fields now. It is kind of structure. This is a global structure, right? We created SAP ABAP structures. We can read only these fields. We don't need to read all the fields from VBAK into sales doc. What is sales doc? This is the work tray here. We can write select single because we are reading single field on a single record. Okay. We are reading single record for all these fields from VBAK table and pushing into this work area. This is a work area here as per this. Because not this one, this is the header one. Because this is the input of sales header where VBLN equals to sales doc. Because here input will come into this importing parameter as the VBLN. So that we need to pass into the table equal to VBLN. Once condition is satisfied, we will be reading data for all these fields from this table and pushing into this. Okay. It is the first select code. If this is satisfied, if size above C equal to 0, else and end if this is satisfied, then we have to read the data from if size of first is 0, and we can also write one more condition. If sales header hyphen or is not initial. Okay, we can write that condition. Both are satisfied, then we have to read the data from second table. Second table means we have structure, right? Item. We can use this structure. We already discussed. Okay, so we are reading these fields from BBFA into table. We have to write because we might get multiple entries into table. Sales item. This is the internal table. Sales item where VBLN equals to sales header hyphen VBLN, because we don't need to pass directly this for second table also. If there is no master entry and if you pass to second select query, then there is no use of this. If we need to pass only master table, if there is a data will store in this work area. Based on this work area VBLN, I'm passing to the second table. If that data is there, in then it will. And if size above C equals to 0, else again end if. Okay. Because these are only two select queries. The first if condition is failed, data will we have to push data into else part. To which one we have to push? We have to push into return. Return is a parameter. This is the internal table. Now we need to create work area. We can create in the within the function model. Ls return type BAP return. Okay.
Sir, you are not audible, sir. Hello.
Sorry, yes. So in else part we have to write. We have to push the data. Okay. When this else will work, if there is no data in if condition in the first select query, then else will work. So else means error scenario. You have to write error. Type of the message means error message, and message is sales headed data not found. Okay. Append ls return to return clear ls. Okay, this way we have to push the messages. Even standard BAPI is also they are pushing in this format only, but they are using standard messages because SAP is already created number of messages in the standard format. So they will push the message in the standard format. Okay, so in this else, we append the message. What is the ls return? Any issue with this? Yeah. Spelling mistake. So ls return is clear now. In this
Sir, why
second if
can't we
condition,
use sir, why can't we use return for sales header? I mean sales document.
no, can you repeat again?
Why can't we use return structure for sales document?
No, not
I mean
getting
sales header.
yeah. No, this is a sales headed part. In if else, if size above is 0, in else part we are pushing now. So this same one will use all the positions. This is else part. Even in if success case, we have to push. Sales header data is found. Everywhere we need the messages. So this is success. We are appending message. Then we'll read the second table. After second table, again we have to up the message. Sales item data is found. Else will push. Header data is not found. Header item data is not found. But we have to check what kind of messages we are pushing. When you push here success, if size above means success, we have to write here success message. When this subars equal to 0, again this is a success message. Data found means it's a success. Data not found means else. So that is the way I mentioned we have two scenarios. If this is failed, we'll get single message only. Suppose if first one is success and second one is fail, we'll get first one success message, second one failure message will get. If both are success, we'll get both success messages. See how this function model is working. We wanted one sales order. We can check from VBA table. Execute function models can be executed independent, right? Here we have to provide the sales document number. I'll open here VBA table. We'll go to the contents. Number of entries 10,000 is there. Execute. Yes. So I'll take sales order 5,000, sales document 5,000. I'll paste it here. Execute. You see here sales header we got with all the fields VBLN, ERDAT, ERJDT, ERNAM, AUDT, all the entries we got. Okay. And item data will comes under tables because we declare under tables. If you see here, result, sales item result, 4 entries. We have 4 line items, 10, 20, 30, 40. Right? Net worth, unit of measure, description, material group, material, and sales document number 5,000. And in the return also we got 2 entries. So you can see here, sales header data is found, sales item data is found. Both are success messages because we are appending yes. ID number is not required, ID and number, because we are not pushing standard messages. This is custom messages. If you are pushing standard messages, you can push ID and number also, which is relevant to SC91 transaction. Okay, that you can check with functional what messages we can push, or if you're not getting any message, you can write your own custom messages. When they are validating, if they don't want this message and they wanted some different message, and they will ask you to write. So that time you can modify the content and the programming level. Is this clear how this function model is working now? Last session I
Yes,
was
sir.
mentioning in BAPI level, we should use always plain code means select queries, if conditions, and some basic functionalities. We should not write any foreground activity like a GUI upload, GUI download. What is that? Those two function models we are using to access the front end screen. GUI upload means I wanted to upload my Excel file which is there in my laptop. That is a front end part. BAPIs are always running in application layer. Front end is not considered. It is always running in the background. Application layer means it is a background. It will not work any front end code. If someone is asking to write that kind of code, you should not. If you use also, it will throw errors. It is not preferred to use those kind of function models. You need to check what kind of function model it is. Now here we all importing, exporting parameters we pass. Start with ZBAPI. Exporting also start with ZBAPI pass by value. Import also pass by value. But in function model, when you create, you have to create remote enable function model because these BAPIs are. It's not specific to this report. When you are creating custom BAPI means it is always required to call external systems. Within the systems, you don't need BAPI. We can directly use select queries. Anywhere, wherever it is required, you can directly use select queries. But if you wanted to expose our SAP data in a non-SAP technologies, then BAPI only is the best option. We don't have any other option in SAP ABAP because this is working as a API programming, right? If standard BAPI is not working, then we have to create custom BAPI. If you are using custom BAPI, that should be remote enable function model. Remote enable means this option will give feasibility to call in remotely from .NET code or PHP code or Microsoft code or there are different programming skills are there, right, in the market. So they can call with their programming using the remote function call. You can check online. There are some standard programs will come in the forums, how to call this BAPIs in PHP programming, how to call this BAPI in the .NET or Java programming. It's very simple. They are calling first SAP using that IP address, instant number, user ID, and password, and then they will call the BAPI name. After BAPI name, they will call the what is import parameter. They will call import parameter, and then they will call a returning parameters. And they are holding that returning parameter in some their programming language. They are holding their variables, and they will display the content on the screen, .NET screen or JavaScript. Okay. Now, as of now, we did only structures creation and function model creation. Still, we need to put it into the business object repository. If you remember that in the last session, we find that business object. If I go C80, yeah, MGA was a package we opened for purchase orders. Business engineering, business object types. So these are all the business objects. Now we are going to create this kind of business object, but package is the custom package, not the standard package. Okay. So we need to go to SW1. SW1 is the transaction. Here we can create the business object. I'm just creating jet sales. This is similar to this object VUS1001. It is your wish. You can create any object. Okay. Create the object. You can use the same name in the object name, description. Program also we can go with the same. An application is mandatory. We have to select what application it is. It is from sales. We have to mention it is from sales, right? We have to select that. If it is a cross application, you have to select cross application. BAPIs are always cross application, but if you want to select application component, you can select sales. Continue. Save in the package, because I just now mentioned it will save in our package, not in the standard packages. That is also very important in many of the projects. They will not ask us to create a new project, new package. They already created some packages for each model. SD model, this is a package. MM model, this package. We should use always same package. Some projects they don't have any compliance. We can create new packages for every requirement also. So depends on that project. You have to check when you are onboarding into the projects. Just save this in the package and transport. Transport is this one 241. Transport is very sensitive concept, guys. When you are saving the data in cross transport, then you will face issues when you are moving to quality and production. If you are working in one report, if you already create transport, you should save in the same transport, because workbench organizer is very sensitive concept. If you are working 4 or 5 developments, and if you are saving in different transport, yesterday evening you work on some report, and today morning you need to work on different report. So when you click on save, it will ask the yesterday's transport. You should not save continuously. You should identify your relevant transport. You have to save in that. If you save in that cross transport, if you move that into the quality, if that is referring your object which is not moved to the quality, then it will throw the runtime error. Because when you move your transport to the code, quality which is referring some table which is not part of the transport, but that table might not be there in quality, then it will keep on throwing the errors in the quality and production. Quality, it is fine, we can rectify, but if you move to the production, if it is affecting some application, 10 to 15 applications, then it is a big issue. Okay. Transport compliance, that make sure that you have to use a transport, relevant transport always. Package, it's not a problem, but transport is very important. Okay, now if you see here methods, we go here. For material, we found this. We double click this. To go methods, we have number of methods here. All the methods are implemented in this business object type. Now here we can see here we don't have any method which is showing in the green. Okay, it indicates that we didn't add it. We didn't add it. We have to add. Select these methods, or you don't need to select. If you go here, add API methods, add the method. We have to add our function model here. What is our function model name? This is our function model. Okay, this. Paste it here. Continue. Once you continue, it will check all the rules and regulations, whether it is created this function model as per BAPI standard or not. This name is your wish, but the starting with ZBAP. Okay, you can see everything is extracted. Okay, so just click on arrow mark, next arrow mark. You can see all the importing parameters, sales doc, header, item written, everything is extracted. Click on next. So method ZBAP sales get details not yet implemented. Do you want to generate the template automatically for missing section? Yes. You can see this is generated. Now we need to select this and we need to implement. Change release status, object type to implement. First, we need to implement this. Then select this, execute, change release status, object type, release. Method existence check is not defined. That's not a problem. So object type set to release state. Now we can use this part. If you see here, I wanted to read material details. Double click, we got this pop-up now. Here we find ABAP. If you go ABAP tab, we can identify the BAP. Similar to in our method also, if you double click, if you go up ABAP, we can see our BAP in it. Understood, guys? How we implement the BAPI now? This BAPI also can be tested in SE37. Just now we tested, right? How it is working. See, this is the BAPI. We can test this BAPI with the it is also working with the items and written messages. So same thing I explained in this document and clearly. This is for material creation, material data read, not creation, material read material information. We can do both sales and material one. Requirement is specific to the business. Okay, you need to understand how to create the structures, how we create the BAPI in SC37, what rules we follow, and how we configure this BAPI in SWO transaction to put it into the business object repository. These steps you need to understand. Importing parameter, exporting, writing select query, that is specific to the requirement. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Anyone have queries on this? Now this BAPI also you can call in the report, similar to BAPI material get details. Import is sales document, exporting sales header and items.